Hey everyone, I'm Nicole Guillaume with Guiding Echoes, and today is Thursday, which means it's time for another Q&A. And today's question comes to us from Dragon72801, and her question is, I had read where it states that your intuition doesn't lie to you. Is this true? Intuition is supposed to be your divine self and can't lie to you, but I had a friend who told me that her intuition lied to her. Well, that is actually a very good question, and the answer is yes and no. Yes, your intuition can lie to you, but no, your intuition can't lie to you. So how exactly does that work? First thing you need to do is to understand what your intuition is. So yes, a lot of people do prescribe to the belief that your intuition is your divine self. However, that's not entirely true. Your intuition connects you to your divine self, which allows you to reach out to your spirit guides, your guardian angels, to God, to whatever deities you believe in. And so it is through our intuition that we are able to connect with one another on a spiritual level, and we're also able to extend our hand to the spirit world. So really, your intuition is more of a telephone or a computer. It's a device or a tool that's built inside of us that allows us to call or reach out to other sources. And so your intuition doesn't lie to you. Your intuition is incapable of lying to you because, as we just stated, it's kind of a spiritual tool, much like prayer or meditation is. And so what can lie to you are the spirits that choose to communicate with you. So, for example, let's say that you have decided that you want to communicate with your pet, with your dog. And so you make it your intention to focus on your dog, and you may ask your dog a question like, hey, is it okay for me to pet you right now? And maybe your dog is a little temperamental, and so you pick up this message that says, yes, it's okay for me to pet you. Or it's okay for you to pet me. So you go up to the dog and you pet it and your dog snaps at you and you're like, oh, like what was that about? Like I distinctly heard my intuition say it was okay to pet you, or, I felt like you were saying it was okay for me to pet you. What's up with that? Well, there's a couple things that may have happened. It could have been that the higher self of the dog, because yes, I do believe that animals have their own higher selves, and of course they have their own intuition and spirit selves. It may have been that the higher self of the dog actually wanted to be pet, but the conscious part of the dog did not. So those two were in conflict with one another. That's something that happens with people quite a lot. So if you're trying to connect with someone intuitively, and maybe you ask someone's higher self, like, is it okay to call you to make amends? Like maybe you had a fight with someone, like, is it okay to call you to make amends? And you feel like their higher self says, yes, it is, please call me. You call them up and either they ignore your phone call, they tell you not to call them again, and you're like, what went wrong? Well, your intuition worked fine. Their higher self wasn't not lying to you. It was actually very honest because it's what the higher self wanted. But we still have free will, and we still have this conscious mind that sometimes goes against what we know we should do. It goes against our spirit self sometimes. You know what I'm talking about, right? We're all guilty of that. Like we all know we should do one thing, but unfortunately we end up doing another. And so people and animals are the same thing. So your intuition was correct in those instances. It's just you didn't get the result that you wanted, because people and animals have free will, and they don't always listen to their intuitive self, to their intuitive and higher selves. The other thing that could have happened is that you tuned in to an energy that you were unfamiliar with, or your friend could have tuned into an energy that she was unfamiliar with. And so if you have a question that you want to ask the universe, you need to be very mindful of who you're directing that question to. So if there's an important decision that you want to make in your own life, or that you need to make in your own life, and you want to connect with your higher self, your spirit guides, or your angels, you need to make it very clear in your mind that that's who you want to connect with. And it can be very helpful to create a symbol in your mind that helps you to connect with one of your sources. So whether it's your higher self, whether it's your patron goddess, close your eyes, focus on that symbol. And when I mean symbol, I also mean figures. Like if you see a statue of a goddess, or if you see a halo and wings and that represents your angels to you, or if you see an actual angel. Those are really all symbols. They're all symbolic of the energy we're wanting to reach out to and connect with. So form a symbol that is very distinct to the entity that you want to reach out to. So if you're not clear on who you're directing that question to, really anything can come in and answer, which is kind of a scary thought. So if you're just putting your energy out there, not directing it to anyone and not feeling a connection to God, to your higher self, to your spirit guides, a mischievous entity can come in there and really start messing with you and giving you answers that are not correct. Now, the third reason it may seem as if your intuition has lied to you is when you're asking for advice on a challenge or situation, and you know full well that you're talking to your spirit guide or angel, and the information ends up being wrong, or the direction and advice given doesn't lead to the result that you wanted. Maybe it led to the opposite. So did they purposely lie to you? Like, what happened there? Sometimes angels and guides don't really know the answer either. Angels and guides are not fortune tellers. They do not know everything, but they are connected to everything. So they are connected to the universal mind, our consciousness, and the consciousness that are above and below that. They're very well connected individuals, but they don't know everything. They don't know what the result's going to be to every situation. What they can do is look at a situation in its entirety and tell you how it's best going to play out. However, there are some things that are blind even to them. And the reason for this is because when you incarnated, there were certain lessons that you were supposed to learn, that you are supposed to learn. So if you're not getting guidance or advice on something, it's because you're supposed to figure it out. You're supposed to have this experience. And you're supposed to be able to learn through it. And I know it sucks, okay? I know that that is not the type of situation that we want to find ourselves in, right? Like, we want to know where we're heading, where this road is taking us. We want to avoid pain as best as we can. But the sad truth is that it is through pain that we grow, and it is also through pain and suffering that we're sometimes able to connect with other people. It is through our pain and suffering that we're able to be more compassionate and empathic towards other people and even towards ourselves. So every single life lesson that we go through is for the good of ourselves and the good of our community, whether that community is in our awareness now or it's going to appear later on. But every lesson that we go through, every experience we have, goes to serve us in some way, shape, or form. So there are some lessons, there are some results that there's no getting around. You are going to experience it in this plane, whether you want to or not, in this lifetime, whether you want to or not. So that choice is taken off the table completely. So when that happens, your angels and guides may not see what's coming up ahead, or they may kind of guesstimate what's happening based on what they can see. And so, bless their hearts, they will do the best that they can to get you through something. But if there's something you're supposed to go through, then you're supposed to go through it. There's no way around it. And so if your guides and angels and even your higher self give you advice or give you wisdom or guidance and you follow it, and yet this bad thing happens, it doesn't mean that your intuition lied to you. It doesn't mean that they lied to you. It just means that this was a lesson or experience you were supposed to have and that you're going to grow from. And even though it may hurt at the time, and I don't want to diminish your pain in any way. I don't want to, seem like I'm putting a Band-Aid on it and saying, oh, well, everything happens for a reason, la, 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 la. I truth be told, like, that's one of the things that bothers me the most is when I'm going through something that's painful or challenging, and people try to, make it seem smaller than it is. Like if you're going through a big challenge, if you're going through something heartbreaking, then that's something that should be acknowledged and honored by you and by the people around you. And, I want to make sure that I don't seem like I'm trying to, give you cookie cutter answers or anything like that. That's not what I want to do, because your life experience and your challenges and situations are important, and they deserve to be honored, and they deserve to be respected and sympathized with. And so, but I do want you to know that in honoring your pain and honoring the challenge, you're also honoring the lesson. So yes, this did happen for a reason, and that reason is that you already made the decision, or the gods and goddesses made the decision, that your soul had to evolve somehow past a certain point. And at the time, it seemed like the only way to get you there was for you to go through this experience. I had a reading actually earlier today with a wonderful woman who was telling me that she had been in an automobile accident quite a few years ago, and she was still experiencing some physical symptoms, like physical setbacks from it. But at the same time, like, while her physical body is not what it was, and she's prone to arthritis and different forms of pain that she didn't have prior to the accident, her soul and her inner being feels so much lighter. The car accident for her was a wake-up call to make some very vital changes in her life. So she became more mindful of how she spent her time, of who she spent her time with, of who she allowed into her energy. She made the time to do more philanthropic work, or is that the right word? Anyways, she made the time to, she made the decision to give more of her money to nonprofit organizations, to get involved in volunteer work. I mean, it really helped her to turn her life around. And had it not been for that experience, she'll even tell you, she would be on that same road of self-destruction and unhappiness that she was on before this car accident. And to the outside world, it wouldn't have even seemed like her life was in self-destruct mode, because her life looked normal. She wasn't an alcoholic, she wasn't a druggie, there was nothing like that going on. She's actually a very nice person. She worked a secure 8-to-5 job, went home, cooked dinner, watched TV, but it was a life of emptiness. There was no meaning there. And so after the accident, she changed her tune in a big way. She got another job that was part-time. I don't know exactly what the job entailed, but it's a job that was part-time. She was still able to pay her bills, even though she took quite a pay cut, but now she's able to devote her time to things that matter to her. So you can see how something that looks like a curse or looks like a terrible event can work out for your highest good, and even for the good of people around you. So trust the process, trust your intuition, know who it is that you're reaching out to, know where you're getting the information from. And in addition to working with your intuition, also be mindful of the decisions you're making with your mind. And by that I mean, you don't want to throw away common sense. This is a problem. This is something that I see a lot of people do, where it's like, oh, well, my intuition said yada, yada, yada. And it's like, well, that's nice that your intuition said that, but you still live on the earth plane, so you still need to make decisions that are based in reality, that are based on things that make sense for this plane that we live in. Your intuition and your spiritual self is supposed to help you maneuver through this world. It doesn't release you completely from the rules of this world. Like, we still have to obey the laws of physics and the laws of cause and effect, the laws of attraction, if you will. So we still need to be respectful and honor the way that things work in this world, but we also need to balance that with an understanding of our intuition and how our intuition can help guide us through our life course, our life path while we're here. So I hope that this answered your question. I hope it made sense as well. So if you have any further questions or comments about this video, please feel free to put them in the comment section down below. If you have a question you would like me to answer during our next Q&A session, please put those in the comment section down below as well. If you would like to learn more about me and what it is that I do, you can visit my website at guidingechoes.com. Also, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I would like to welcome you to the Guiding Echoes community, and I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. Every Thursday I offer Q&A sessions similar to this one, and I also offer weekly psychic tarot readings and other intuitive messages and reviews on tarot, oracle decks, and books that I think will be helpful to you. And the reason I do this is because I want you to know that you're not alone on this journey. I fully believe that all of us are connected and all of us are here to help one another on this spiritual path of self-improvement and personal growth. And your personal growth and spiritual evolution are important to me, and I want to do the best that I can to give you the advice and tools that you need in order to maneuver down this road, down this path. So more than anything, I want you to succeed in life. I want you to succeed in your spiritual growth, and I want you to know that you're not alone in this, okay? So again, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section down below. If you would like a personal psychic reading with me, or you'd like to learn more about the different services that I offer, again, I invite you to visit my website at guidingechoes.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.